huddled on the couch, clutching the blanket tightly around me as the storm raged outside. Rain lashed against the windows, accompanied by the relentless howling of the wind. The house creaked and groaned, seemingly alive with each gust that swept through its aged frame. I was alone, my parents off on a weekend getaway, leaving me in this old Victorian house nestled in the quiet town of Ravenscroft. I tried to distract myself with a book, attempting to ignore the rising unease that gnawed at the edges of my mind. But as the minutes turned into hours, the sense of being watched grew stronger. Every shadow seemed to dance menacingly in the dimly lit room, and the flickering of the fireplace cast eerie shapes on the walls. My attempt at immersion in the fictional world of the book was shattered by a sudden crash from the kitchen. My heart pounded in my chest as I strained to listen, praying it was just a harmless accident caused by the storm. But then I heard it, the sound of slow, deliberate footsteps approaching the living room. Fear gripped me like icy tendrils, paralyzing me where I sat. Summoning every ounce of courage, I rose from the couch and tiptoed towards the front door, hoping to escape the growing horror. My hand trembled as I reached for the doorknob, but before I could turn it, the door rattled violently. It felt as though someone on the other side was trying to force their way in. Panic surged through me, and I realized I was trapped. With each step I took, the creaking floorboards echoed ominously, as if mocking my attempts to flee. The lights flickered, casting sinister shadows that danced tauntingly along the walls. I felt the presence drawing nearer, an invisible malevolence that seemed to permeate the very air I breathed. Desperation guided my stumbling steps, leading me to a forgotten study on the second floor. Inside, the room was a relic of the past, filled with dusty books, faded maps, and mysterious artifacts. In the corner, I discovered an aged journal, its pages yellowed and fragile. Curiosity overcame my fear, and I began to read, hoping to unearth some semblance of an answer within its cryptic writings. As the storm raged outside, the journal revealed a haunting tale, a tale of a restless spirit bound to this house by a tragic past. It spoke of lost love, betrayal, and a life cut short. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized that the entity haunting me sought retribution for past wrongs. Armed with this newfound knowledge, I concocted a desperate plan. I would confront the spirit, face it head-on, and plead for forgiveness and peace. With a makeshift offering in hand, I braved the darkness, guided only by the wavering glow of a single flickering candle. In the heart of the house it materialized, a spectral figure draped in sorrow and anguish. I trembled, holding out my offering, my voice quivering as I begged for forgiveness. The air grew heavy, charged with a bittersweet energy, and the spirit's ethereal gaze softened. In a voice laced with pain and resolution, the spirit whispered words of absolution, relinquishing its hold on the house and its inhabitants. As the storm gradually subsided, so did the haunting presence. I released a breath I hadn't realized I was holding, relieved that I had somehow managed to set things right. From that day forward, the house in Ravenscroft regained its serenity, no longer burdened by the weight of an anguished soul. I, forever changed by that chilling night, moved on, carrying the lessons learned from my encounter. The scars of that experience remained, serving as a constant reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the world. But I also found solace in the knowledge that even in the darkest of nights, there is always a glimmer of hope, a flicker of light to guide us through.